Hey there, amazing listeners. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Transform Yourself, the podcast that is all about empowering you to shed those stubborn pounds and embrace your best self. We are your hosts, Kacy and Tyler. We have lost a collective 130 pounds. We use the 4 M's of fitness, mind shift, meal shift, micro habits, and muscle building to create an attainable and sustainable approach to weight loss. So whether you are a fitness enthusiast, a beginner, maybe you're just curious about making positive changes, Transform Yourself is your go-to source for inspiration, information, and a good dose of motivation. And today we are deep diving into a mindset that holds a lot of women back from real fat loss progress. And it is people pleasing. And I think we're going to title this episode People Pleasers and Progress Problems. When I was looking for a title to this episode, one of the title suggestions that ChatGPT gave me was Permission to Please Yourself. And I was like, that was not a good title. I was like, that's...
What the hell?
That's the wrong audience. Listen, ladies, I mean, if you want to pleasure yourself, go for it. But that's not what this is about.
Keep it PG.
We are talking about something different. We're talking about the women who are people pleasers and put themselves last. And therefore, it gives you progress problems. So, yeah. So I think people pleasers and progress problems sounds like a better title for us. Anyways, moving on. If you are somebody who constantly puts others first, who avoids conflict, who says yes when you really wanted to say no, this episode is for you. We're going to unpack how being a people pleaser can sabotage your fat loss journey, what skills you need to protect your goals, and how to build a circle that celebrates the changes that you're making. So grab your coffee or get in your walk or settle into your commute and let's get into it. I started looking into people pleasers by looking up statistics about people pleasers. 49% of Americans self-identify as people pleasers. So half of America I guess so. Half of America are people pleasers and the other half were like...
Or selfish.
Yeah, I guess half of us are givers and half of us are takers. I mean, it makes for a really balanced life, I suppose. 56% of women identify as people pleasers, but 42% of men identify themselves as people pleasers.
Okay.
You would identify yourself as a people pleaser, yeah?
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think... I think I'm a giver more than I'm a taker.
You for sure are more of a people pleaser than I am.
Is it being a people pleaser to try to serve your family and trying to do good things for people?
No.
I guess that's where I don't understand where the difference is between being a people pleaser and just trying to
serve your family. Well, let's maybe break it down into common people-pleasing behavior. So maybe we can use this as a checklist. So prioritizing other people's needs over your own, or difficulty saying no when somebody asks you for something.
Yeah, y'all ask me for stuff all the time and I don't ever tell y'all no.
So I would say you fit the bill for both.
I rarely tell y'all no.
You definitely prioritize our needs over your own, and you definitely have a hard time saying no to me and the kids. Feeling responsible for how others feel is a part of it.
No, I don't feel responsible for how you feel.
Yeah, I agree. You don't. Struggling to set boundaries with others. I don't think you struggle to set boundaries.
I think y'all struggle to set boundaries with me.
Mirroring other people's behavior to make them comfortable.
No, I don't do that.
Saying yes when you maybe don't agree.
Yeah, that happens all the time. But I don't know. Call me crazy. I feel like that's part of being.
I don't know. I would say that there's lots of disagreements and you don't always say yes when you disagree with something. So I don't know. I think you fit some of the bill of people pleasing behaviors. But maybe you're right. Maybe it is more of just you're a great husband and father serving your family. Mirroring. Oh, I already said that one. Mirroring others' behaviors to make them comfortable. We're going to talk about that one in a minute. Saying yes when you don't agree, going to great lengths to avoid conflict, apologizing or accepting blame, even when it's not your fault.
Oh, yeah. That happens almost every single fight we have. I have to take the blame. Someone's got to be the fall guy.
You're good at it. People pleasers are higher risk of burning out due to constant effort of meeting other people's needs and difficulty with setting boundaries. So that can lead to resentment and frustration. So what is a people pleaser? It's basically, in a nutshell, somebody who's going to prioritize the needs, the desires, the comforts of somebody else over themselves, at the expense of their own needs, of their own goals, of their own boundaries. It's rooted in wanting to be liked and not cause tension. Here's the kicker. When you're constantly putting everyone else's needs above your own, especially if you're on a fat loss journey, ladies, you are setting yourself up for burnout and sabotage. So let me give you some real life scenarios. Say it's a girls' night out and you have every intention to sticking to your plan. You're like, yep, I'm going to go out with the girls, but I have been on this new plan and I am going to stick to it. I'm not going to have the wine. I'm not going to have all the things. And maybe you even look at the menu ahead of time, but then what happens? The drinks start flowing, right?
And Becky starts being a real bee and so on. Why aren't you drinking? You're not fun anymore.
And you don't want to be that girl.
It's my birthday.
Right? You don't want to be that girl and you don't want to have to explain your goals. So you smile, you say yes, you throw your plan out the window, and then bam, you go home and you feel guilty because you didn't stick to your plan. You were people pleasing. And you know what you were doing? You were mirroring the behavior of others to make them comfortable.
Hey, in reality, the Beckys of this world probably don't even say anything.
This
probably
is true.
No one's saying anything. You just fall into line just because.
Right.
Just because you don't want to be odd man out.
Yes. I have had many a woman say to me, but if I don't drink, it's going to be weird. It's going to be awkward. It's actually not.
It's only weird for you. No one else even notices because they're
no
drunk.
one cares.
No one cares. And no one. And after the first round, no one notices because they're drinking. That goes hand in hand.
If you are just tuning into our podcast for the first or second, podcast of ours, we both have stopped drinking and it has been a game changer. We both believed that it would be awkward, but that was all.
It's only awkward if you make it awkward.
That's right. Family dinner. Let's take that for example. Say you go to your mom's house. She makes your favorite lasagna. She is beaming with pride over this. And you are full after one serving. You put a little serving on your plate with a salad on your plate because you are trying to stay within your calorie deficit. But then she says something like, oh, I made this just for you. Don't you want some seconds? You don't want to hurt her feelings, so you go back for seconds. And now you're stuffed and now you're frustrated. So again, people pleasing can include your mom. Your mom would have been just fine if you would have said, you know what, pack that up for me, Mom. I would love to take some home with me. Or you just
tell her to can it and leave me alone, Ma. I don't want
mind your own business, Mom.
I don't want any more chicken parm. Get out of here.
No. Office treats. Let's take that for example. So your coworker, right? They brought in donuts because they're celebrating David's birthday, right? And you already ate your planned breakfast of egg and egg whites and your low calorie tortilla, right? But everybody else is indulging in the donuts for David's birthday. They're all singing birthday to him. Yeah, you don't want to be the odd one out. So you eat one, or maybe that one turns to two and you didn't even want it. So then again, you do it and you feel guilty, but this might come from the idea that you deep down are a people pleaser. This can go on and on. This can happen on vacation with friends, right? You plan to move your body every morning on vacation and you pack your jogging shoes, you pack your bands, you pack your sneakers. And then everybody else is sleeping in, right? And you don't, nobody else wants to go on the hike with you at 6 a.m., right? So you don't want to be the buzzkill. So you just skip your workout, for the whole trip. That's the kind of thing that happens.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times we've gone on vacation and I've packed running shorts and shoes. Like, I'm going to get up every morning and go exercise, be a super healthy dude on vacation. And nope, doesn't happen.
I just got back from my second Form Fit retreat in Costa Rica. And here's the deal. I loved it, because there was a group of ladies who wanted to intentionally get up at 5 a.m. and go on a walk from, maybe 6 to 7 a.m. every morning. They wanted an hour walk to stack all their steps early in the morning. And that was lovely. And listen, it was about 5 of the 14 girls that did it, and nobody shamed the girls that weren't doing it. There was a group of ladies that did not drink alcohol on this trip. In fact, there was one woman who told me, and her name is Dawn. She's adorable. She's amazing. She said that the Costa Rica trip was the very first vacation she's ever been on where she's not going to have a single drink.
That's awesome.
That's
like a big deal, mental
right?
hurdle to get over.
It's such a hurdle.
Because, that's drinking and vacationing, like for most people, for me, for a long time. They go hand in hand. It's like what did they say in Forrest Gump? Peas and carrots, like peas and carrots.
Like peas and carrots,
yes.
Janae.
Yeah. So someone did that, and then they realized, like, oh crap, I can actually have a good time and not be wasted the whole time.
And let me tell you, Dawn is somebody who could totally have a good time anywhere she goes. She's amazing. And I love that she proved to herself that
that's
she
the big
can.
Thing.
Yeah,
it's proving to yourself that
she
you
built
can do
trust with herself that she can do it. She can go on vacation and not drink. And I love that for her, because now the next time she goes on vacation, it's going to be that much easier for her, if that is her choice to not drink. So all of these moments that I kind of gave examples of, the girls' night out, the family dinner with your mom, right? The office treat, somebody's birthday or a vacation, like all those moments, they add up and they chip away at your consistency, which is so important for fat loss. Y'all hear me say it all the time. You have to be consistent with your habits. So if this is resonating with you, I want you to know you are not broken. You just need tools. And that kind of leads me into the second part of this podcast. Your goals, your fat loss goal, the goal of the person that you are working on becoming, that goal is going to require you to say no. So let's talk about the word no. Saying no does not make you rude. Let me say that again. Saying no does not make you rude. It does not make you difficult. What it makes you is committed. I get it. Saying no, it feels hard. It feels awkward, especially if you've built your whole identity around being the easygoing Brenda, the flexible Jane, like the accommodating person, the peacekeeper. The truth is, though, your goals don't care about people pleasing. They care about consistency. What does no look like? It looks like saying something like, no, thanks, I'm going to skip the wine. I am good with water tonight. Yeah. Or, no, thank you, I brought my own lunch. Or, I'll skip dessert, but I would love a coffee. Or, I'm going to head out early. I've got a morning workout planned. Or, thank you so much for offering, but I am staying on track with my meals this week. So the word no doesn't have to be dramatic, right? You don't owe anybody an explanation, but...
It also, again, it's only a big deal in your head.
This is true.
And, from my experience, like when I gave up boozing, it was weird for me the first few times to say no.
It was probably weird for you the first, 100 times.
But eventually, it just becomes the new norm. You eventually just become that person, and it doesn't even matter anymore.
That's right.
People quit asking. And then you also kind of build the muscle of the saying no muscle, where you just don't care anymore.
That's right. You have to say no with enough reps and sets to get good at it.
It's like anything else.
Yes. So listen, you don't owe an explanation. If you want to give an explanation, link your explanation to your goals. So something like, I've been feeling really strong and consistent lately, and I just really don't want to lose my momentum, so I'm going to pass on that wine. Or I'm working with a coach right now, and staying on plan makes me feel really empowered. So
how about just no? Just like, no thanks, I don't feel like drinking tonight.
That's also
like,
true. No is a
you
complete
don't owe
sentence.
anyone an explanation.
I agree, you don't. Sometimes people want to give an explanation.
Well,
and if you are, I say link your explanation to the truth, which is your goal. Or you
should just make them feel really bad for them making a bad decision, and then they'll never ask again. Well, they won't ever talk to you again.
But then they won't invite you out again, and you want to go out.
But maybe you need to find new friends who do, like,
I mean, that is part of this podcast too. So here's the mindset shift. Every time you say no to somebody else's short-term comfort, you are saying yes to your long-term transformation. Saying no is a skill, and the more you practice it, the more natural it is going to become. And exactly what Ty just said, surround yourself with people who support you. So the last piece of this conversation is who you surround yourself with. Fat loss is hard enough already for multiple reasons. I'm not going to, sugarcoat it and tell you that fat loss is so easy. I mean, it takes
if it was
change.
That easy, everyone would be
right. If it was easy, if it was easy, everybody would be thin. But you don't need to be around people who make it harder. You need people who respect your boundaries, who celebrate your efforts, who ask how they can support you, or don't take your no personally. I remember, I have my very best friend, Brandy. I stopped drinking. I don't know whenever you stopped drinking, and whenever that was, 2021.
Yeah. Or
and
2020, actually. End of 2020.
Yeah. And I remember going out with her for the very first time and not having a drink. And listen, she didn't take it personally. She respected that is the choice that I made. And she still continued to get drinks. She is a really good friend. And that's how really good friends react. And this is also why our Form Fit community is so powerful. I am not telling you that you have to quit drinking to be a part of the Form Fit community. That's not what this is about. There are plenty of women inside of the Form Fit community who drink wine on a regular basis and still get to their goals. Yes, that can happen. Might it make it a little more tough? Sure. But that's an entire new podcast. Go listen to one on alcohol. I think we have one on alcohol way back in the...
Yeah, well, if you just listen periodically, this topic comes up frequently because obviously I have very strong opinions about it.
We do. When you're surrounded by women who get it, who are also doing hard things, surrounded by the Form Fit community, you're surrounded by women who are not going to shame you for, the choices that you're making. So that does not mean they're bad people. It just might mean that you might need to build a second circle, your goal circle, right? You have your goal circle of friends and your non-goal circle of friends, so to speak. And people who make you feel safe to grow, those people are priceless. Spend more time with them. So if you've been people pleasing your way through your weight loss journey, I hope that this episode gave you some clarity and, more importantly, permission to protect your goals. You don't owe anyone your progress. So your job isn't to make everybody else comfortable. Your job is to live with integrity within your goals. And if you're somebody who's been waiting for a sign to stop people pleasing and start prioritizing yourself, maybe this is it. Maybe this podcast was the sign for you to start practicing the word no, or start creating your new circle of friends that support your goals. Protect those goals. Be a little bit selfish. It is allowed, people. You are allowed to tell your mom no. It's okay. You can do it politely, but you're allowed to do it. If you are looking for weight loss resources, maybe you need to calculate your calorie deficit, calculate your protein goal, or if you're looking for low-calorie cookbooks. By the way, all of my cookbooks and workouts are on sale this summer, 25% off automatically. So you don't even have to apply a coupon code. You'll go to the checkout and you'll see that the price has been reduced by 25%. And All of those things can be found at thecaloriedeficitqueen.com, including coaching. So if you're looking to join the Form Fit Circle as your goal circle of friends, thecaloriedeficitqueen.com, click on the coaching tab. Right there's options. We have group coaching, we have one-on-one coaching. Either way, we have a circle of friends and awesome ladies. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Transform Yourself. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Leave us a review. It really does help. Share the love. And until next time, keep shining, keep smiling, and keep transforming yourself.
Adios.